Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, and welcome to the Context Denied podcast. The podcast with only 3 rules. 1, no guest is on 2 weeks in a row. 2, the guests have no idea what's going on. And 3, there's no pressure to listen the entire time. Today we have 2 guests. My name is Hadley, and these are...
Hi, I'm
I'm wanted for murder in Canada. Just kidding. It's Mexico.
Either one. We have no idea at this point.
Could be both.
Okay, and as the rules suggest, they have no idea what we're talking about today, except for a vague idea. Maybe. I don't know if they have a vague idea or not.
I have no
honestly.
idea what's going
No
on.
clue.
So today we're going to talk about pop music and how it has changed over time, and what we like better.
Oh, okay. I actually have some very
Interesting.
heated discussions.
No, exactly. That's why we're talking about it.
That's-
It's like I know the people I do a podcast with or something.
That is crazy.
I know.
Okay, first, let's start off. Pop music,
Pretty sure it didn't exist until the 1900s.
well, no, that's not true.
Well, you're
'cause-
using pop music as a general term, just like music as is popular. That was the most popular and different.
Okay, I felt like the pinnacle was like the 60s and 70s. You know, you got people like the Beatles, you got people making actual changes. 2000 comes around, and this
Everybody's
is just my
copying
opinion.
each other.
Everybody's copying each other. It's all electro. Like,
But I think that's something to say of there was less to copy in the 60s and 70s.
That could be argued as well.
that's a good point. I feel like though, like the music industry as a whole has shifted over from like just like trying to make good music to trying to make popular music.
No, yes, I definitely agree with you, but I don't think it started declining until around mid 2010s ish.
I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's when it got worse. I think yes, in the 2000s there were artists who were making music to be popular.
Like,
other than
I think, and controversial opinion, as soon as Lady Gaga was born, like, things just... apocalypse of music started, man.
Hey
Like,
man, all right. Me and Cole.
did you see the halftime? I mean...
the halftime
not-
show for the Super Bowl a couple of years ago?
Yeah, like-
oh my goodness.
It was so dumb. And then Rihanna somehow comes back with the latest Super Bowl.
And it's even worse somehow.
Yeah.
Here, okay. I feel like my opinion is me and Colin, we have a very different music taste than most people. I would say like
Yeah.
disagree.
we're more into classics, like, you know, stuff like that. Like
We have music's taste that is older
yeah.
than...
I
love-
disagree that that's different from other people. I
Yes.
know quite a few people.
I agree. But you meet the standard person
Yes.
and it's rap and hip hop. Those are their two. Rap, hip hop, and pop.
Yes. Okay, I was like, you have to put pop in there. That's
my
why it's
bad.
called pop.
That's my bad. Yeah.
The average person is like either Harry Styles or Olivia Rodrigo.
Right, no. Okay.
Okay.
So, yeah, here's the thing, okay? The music I like is also kind of weird and I like a lot of indie stuff.
I love it.
But as far as like music that has been in pop at some point, I'm more into 2000s through early 2010s.
Yeah.
So,
Definitely.
I think
Right,
that's
I agree.
So I think that's a really interesting style when you like break it up and look into it.
Yeah, like,
They have some
it's
really cool
completely
things.
different.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's so
completely
weird.
different than it
This
is
is just
now.
my
It's
opinion. I kind of feel like your music taste is completely dependent on your personality.
It's not completely dependent on your personality,
Well,
and it sometimes can shift your personality.
That's true.
Right, but like me and Everett are like some of the dopest people I
Oh,
know,
yeah,
and so
coolest
is our
kids.
music taste.
Mhm,
Like,
yeah.
Hadley, you're up there, and so is your music taste. But
Like,
you know,
I love like alt bands from like 2000s and 90s. Like, I love Nirvana. I love people like Rise Against. You know, I love all of those
The
like
Killers.
old The Killers.
The
Yes,
Killers are a vibe.
The Killers are. I love like rock and punk rock. That's just
I was gonna
my-
say, I think it's so funny because you keep being like, "Oh, Hadley, you're emo now," as a joke, but
Well,
you're
yeah.
more emo than any of us
Well-
because you listen to punk rock.
Punk rock doesn't mean you're emo.
neither do skull plates.
I know. I just okay. All right. Okay. We're having a party, right? And Hadley pulls out food, and Anna are just these skull plates, completely random. We're in
It's not
March.
It's not random. It's my leftover plates from
No,
my
no,
Halloween
but I
party.
had no idea from this, and I'm like, okay. All right, Hadley's emo now. Good to know.
Why
That's
would,
not-
that's the ultimate sign of being emo, guys. You go to the dollar store and you buy plates with skulls on them in March.
Exactly. You
Or it means
understand
you're
that.
broke.
Okay.
Like skyrocketed, but arguably the best rapper right now is Eminem.
Oh,
you know.
gosh, not
Have you
arguably. All right, listen. The music industry has changed from trying to create
Yes.
the best melody and the best lyrics and the most heartfelt song and like have the best harmonies and chord progressions to who could spit raps the fastest and the
There's
coolest.
just a lot less passion in it.
Right.
Especially with so many being love songs.
Yeah.
There's less passion. That's why I like indie artists, because there tends to be more like
Real
they do it
stories.
for themselves. They don't do it for
The people
Like,
who are
yeah.
listening to them. Yeah. I kind of how do I
Now,
so
people like artificial things though nowadays, like, you know, every female's plastic surgery. People like that.
Brent Rivera.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like
My grandma
people like
actually
fake
knows that.
things. It's how it works.
Like fake thing, okay, but I do agree that the music industry now it's changed from being like you're trying to revolutionize it to like it's money making, but there are some pop artists that still maintain
No, totally.
that here. This is like a wacky opinion because I know it's the last person you would think of. But Eminem, he has some like really heartfelt songs, like some songs that literally like I almost cried to. Like
if-
he talks about his experiences in life in those songs, like through his divorce and like
Right.
how it's been impacted his
And like
children.
songs about his daughter are so
Yeah,
incredibly
about
heartfelt.
Haley. Oh my gosh. Okay,
Like,
like
it's insane.
Mockingbird and When I'm Gone by Eminem. I've almost cried to
yeah,
them.
no,
on more
I don't
occasions.
want to clump all pop artists into the same group and say none of them put feeling into their songs. But I like some of them do, and that's
yeah.
what ruins it for me. But there are some songs like I do enjoy listening to the radio sometimes. There are some songs that I feel like I can like actually feel. The biggest examples of how pop music has changed just over like a couple of years is when I used to watch DComs, and when they make a DCom musical, they put it to the pop music style. A kind of Disneyfied version of the pop music style at the time. And if you look at older DComs versus newer DComs, the music style is very different.
I'm not very familiar with DComs. Could you just like tell me what that is?
Okay. Disney Channel original movie.
Oh,
Oh.
okay. Let's not even get started on those. All right. Disney. Okay.
Once they had the Jonas Brothers in there, it was gone. I'm just saying. There are certain like
It was gone way before that. It was
Well-
gone. It was dead before. Okay. Don't get me started on Disney Channel original movies. Okay.
Okay, I won't.
They-
I was just talking about how the music has changed over the course of Disney Channel original movies. Because if you go back and you look at like
okay.
Camp Rock.
I know this isn't like it's not a Disney Channel original movie, but Phineas and Ferb
Oh
had
my
the best
gosh.
music, arguably, of all time.
Yes.
The theme song.
Nothing
The
is better.
first time you watch it, it will be forever engraved in your head. Cause it's so good.
Everybody knows
it
it.
slaps.
The end of your shoelace, everybody knows that because of Phineas and Ferb.
Aglet. Nobody knew the word aglet before Phineas and Ferb.
Right?
Now everybody knows it.
The thing I like about Phineas and Ferb is the fact that like if you like watch the videos of like Dan Povenmire and stuff, a lot of it was them just like messing around and
Right.
like having fun with it. Like
And it's
again,
true
we go back
That's
to
what
the-
Yeah,
that
it's passion.
That's what connects it to the music industry. When you put fun and passion into a project, that comes out and that shows in your product.
yeah.
Right.
One of my favorite artists, he's like making an LP right now, and he was saying, he was like, I put so much emotion into this, I can't decide if it's actually something I want to release. And so he said it's gonna be a while. And he's like, I might re-record some songs just because there's so much in it from me personally. It just feels like a lot and I just have to process through it. And he puts so much into his music. There's so many artists who just like give their all to music, and it's so sad to see these artists who could make a song in like 5 minutes and then everyone would freak out and say, this is the most revolutionary song in the world. And it's just, or they're just like, oh my gosh, they're hot, so I love their music.
That's the thing. Like, recognition
Agreeable.
has changed.
Like, if someone is hot, I'm gonna just kidding.
Like Eminem. Okay. But here's, like, I agree with that sentiment. Because, like, it's hard to get up in the music industry. Like, I'm trying to get into it right now. I'm making some albums. I'm making some singles. I'm not sure when I'm ready to post them. But it's hard. Like, if you do the research, it's hard to establish that fan base and to grow it. Like, some of those artists, they're making incredible stuff, and they don't get nearly enough recognition as they should.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think part of the problem with that is there's just so many indie artists trying to, like, break out that
There's not enough room.
there's not enough room. There's not enough people in the world to... Same with all social media, but that's an entirely different episode that we'll get into. There's just so many people trying to get out there that it's just kind of the lucky few, but
It's a cluster luck. Like, that's the thing.
but there are so many who are so good. And the other thing is, it's a shame because there's all these, like, singers you see who, like, have this great natural talent, and then they haven't been trained at all, and you can tell.
Right.
It's-
Like,
Yeah, especially when you look at stuff like The Voice and stuff. Like, a lot of people, like, aren't able to get the training that would make their voice excel and stuff like that. I don't know if you've done voice training.
I haven't. I'm
So
saying
I'm not
100%.
trying to say, like, you're awful because you've never had voice
No.
training.
I get what you're trying to say. You
Yeah.
know, like, because some people, they're born. That's the reality. Like, some people are born luckier than others. That is the reality. Some people, they can afford those
Right.
voice lessons and stuff.
some
and that
people
gives them
have,
that-
like, massive trust funds, or other people, maybe they, like, have this natural talent of, like, you know, like, perfect pitch is an example.
Yeah.
It's not, like, exactly rare, but it gives
But
a
it's-
big advantage.
Yeah.
You know?
But-
No offense to perfect pitch people out there. I hate you.
I'm almost
You're
there.
so pretentious.
The reason, like, and so many people are born with, like, this naturally great voice, but there's still, like, technique you need with it. I've heard hundreds of people singing who have a great voice, and I'm like, you did not sing that vowel correctly. I have taken voice lessons. I want to clarify for that for people. I have taken voice lessons. I have a
She's an amateur.
I have a
She
vague-
doesn't know what she's doing.
I know what I'm talking about, at least, more or less. I haven't obviously had official training, like, official, like, schooling on, like, all vocal technique. But from what I've learned and from what I've noticed as my ear has gotten better at picking out those things, that's what I heard. I want to clarify that so people aren't like, she's such a jerk. She's commenting on things she doesn't even know about.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
can we? It's moved from, like you said, like, as the world gotten older, it's moved from real things to artificial things. Like, I feel like, this is just my opinion, I've probably voiced this a lot, but 90s and 2000s I felt like was the best age for music. It had, like, the music industry was developed enough where they can make
Original songs.
really, really darn good songs, original songs, but it wasn't developed too much that was just all about that money making. Like, it, like, you've, in the 90s and 2000s, you got people actually in a live recording studio playing their full songs with guitars, and, like, they got each member doing something. But nowadays, it's like you load up your DAW, which is digital audio workstation for people who don't know. You load up your DAW, and you start, like, messing with virtual instruments, artificial instruments, which is not a bad thing, but it has moved away from that real creation.
Like, our friend, his name is Logan, and he's a drummer, and he is monumentally against virtual drums because they're unrealistic. You can play drums on a virtual thing that can't be done in real life. It's physically impossible. So, like, it creates this sense of, like, you know, like, it feels so fake, you know, to listen.
And okay, one of my favorite perspectives on music, though, I do have to, like, shout this out because, like, I'm just so glad that, like, I can, like, that this artist did this. Lead singer of One Republic, I forget his name all the time for some reason, even though I love One Republic. He said in like an interview or something, he mentioned that he was like, I don't write love songs a lot because I'm happily married. And I don't need my wife to know that because I make a song that gets super popular. That's not how I want to show my love. And I just respect that so much. Like,
he's not in it for the money.
He's not in it for the money.
Well, sort of. Like, that is his job, but...
But yeah, like, well, yeah, there's stuff like that where it's like YouTubers and stuff, when they get to the certain point where they have a lot of money, like, you're in it for the money, but you're not in it for the money.
You didn't start as in it for the money. You started it as, I want to do this. I want to do what is good for me.
Yeah, and people, like, artists who maintain that perspective, I really appreciate and respect a lot more than some other artists. I'm not going to specifically name anyone, one, because I'm not trying to get canceled, and two, because I can't think of any at the top of my head. So, but, yeah, I mean, I don't know, music has just changed a lot.
It really has, and as the fake music, well, not fake music, but like use of fake instruments and like like making it more artificial,
right,
is also, we keep thinking, like, yes, it isn't the best thing, but it also isn't the worst thing, because now, like you were saying, people who have that inspiration, that talent, they can do it much easier now, like via online, working on it in your DAW, than like having to fully fledged learn an instrument. Like, it does open the barrier to entry, but it also is a bad thing because it also lowers like the emotional potential of those songs.
It makes it easier to like just
go at it,
spit out a song and be done with it. And it reminds me a lot of when people get burnout. It reminds me a lot of burnout when people are like just working so hard because they just want to pump out that stuff, and so they just stop caring what they put out.
Right.
And so maybe there's hope and the world will burn out enough and they'll realize it and they'll take a small break and then go back.
The music industry and like any industry, it follows like the curves and the trends of the real world. Right now, in the real world, we're in the stage where like there's lots of fakeness, right? There's all of this stuff. Like, it all does come back to the real world, but it's not gonna stay there. It's gonna ebb and flow. It's gonna come back and back, and that's why it's going to change. It's not gonna stay fake.
Right.
Like
now, I think that Tobey Maguire should start making music as Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
I think that it definitely like should be talked about, like how we should maybe give less attention to these larger artists, and like, because if we're looking at it realistically, they put out the same stuff every album. Like, it's the same thing, and maybe there's one or two really revolutionary songs, but chances are there isn't, because nowadays it's just it's not like that.
I have a good friend, and his one desire in life is to listen to the most obscure bands possible. And I'm like, and I go to my friend and I'm like, hey, dude, why are you always just listening to like the most random crap ever? And he goes, because all of these popular artists, all of these popular people, they are getting all this attention, but there are some people who are a lot smaller in followers and like whatever their status is, they're putting out better stuff than these guys are, and we need to give them recognition. And that really like flipped my view on the whole industry as a whole.
I do want to put out there though, please don't go on America's Got Talent if you're a singer. It's stupid.
Why?
Because
you don't have talent.
No, it's not that. It's not that you don't have talent. It's the fact that out of everything,
the racial makeup is.
Oh my gosh!
Shut up, let her talk.
Out of all the people you're competing against, singing is the most like not unimportant thing. Like, if you're singing and you have like the guy who won because he was a singer but he also played the piano and was like blind or something, that makes complete sense to me. I'm not like something like that. That's really cool, and there's nothing against. I have nothing against that. But if you're just going on to sing, go on The Voice, go on American Idol, go do something more, because you're gonna get further on that. Unless your only reason for going on America's Got Talent is so you can get recognized, there's no other reason.
There's better ways.
There's
to do it.
way better ways to do it.
Like you were talking about, I know we keep coming back to The Voice, but The Voice, they give you, like, the teachers, they give you really good training that you wouldn't have before. They give you stuff that you can use, and you're not just, like, going off of what you could previously do. They're making you get better and better. And when you win, you get the fame, you get the status, and you've got all of this knowledge along the way on how to help get your musical dreams come true.
As someone who's been on The Voice multiple times, I'd like to say that one thing you can do to really woo the judges, make up a real good sob story, right?
Oh, that's true.
Like,
for literally any reality
but like,
show.
Like one of them will
My dad
just
has
start
cancer.
crying, and then he'll just be like, "Oh,
Why
Golden
are you
buzzer.
crying? Why are you crying?
yeah."
Yeah. And, I mean,
Like, "Oh, I was born at a very young age. My parents loved me so much." Like,
I honestly, like, I at this point, I'm like, just going on any singing show is stupid at this point because they're all really rigged.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, if you must, don't go on America's Got Talent just to sing. I feel like it's just not worth it to me. I don't know. Maybe people, like, I'm sure there could be an argument made for this that I would listen to and I would consider, honestly. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Do
The music industry has changed a lot since it was first originated. We can all agree on that.
Mm-hmm.
And
especially certain parts of it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, especially, like, with trends going up and down,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
And maybe it's not for the best, but we're going to come out of this better people, better singers.
Better
and
writers.
Exactly.
Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you had a good time. Thank you for watching all the way through if you did, or if you just skipped to the end, that's okay too. Also, if you have not checked out my YouTube channel, you can also find the shorts on there. Thank you so much for listening, and have a day.